Mager, Monmouthshire, Mager, Monmouthshire, Mager, Monmouthshire, 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 Mager, Monmouthshire, Monmouthshire, Mager, Monmouthshire, Monmouthshire, Mager, Monmouthshire, Monmouthshire, Mager, Monmouthshire, Monmouthshire. Mager English, Welsh. Mago is a large village in Monmouthshire, south-east Wales, about 9 miles 14 km west of Chepstow, and about 9 miles 14 km east of Newport. It lies on the Caldicot levels beside the Severn estuary, and is in the community of Mager with Undye. Mager lies close to the M4 motorway. History. The original Welsh language name Magwell, from which the English name is derived, is thought to originate from the Latin masseria, meaning masonry walls or ruins. It may relate either to a now lost Roman villa in the area or alternatively to sea defences or a causeway built by the Romans. Mager and the surrounding area contain many Roman ruins and artifacts, and the village centre was originally located at the inner edge of salt marshes which the Romans began to reclaim as farmland. The local name Whitewall may relate to the same causeway, which would have connected the village to a small now vanished harbour on the Severn estuary known as Abergwaithe or Aberwitha. In 1994 the remains of a 13th century boat used for trading along and across the Severn estuary, and perhaps with Ireland, were found buried in the mud of the estuary close to Mager Pill. The boat was found to have been carrying iron ore from Glamorgan. Mager is one of the few villages to appear on the Cambrai typus map of 1573. St. Mary's Church. According to tradition, the parish church was founded in the 7th century and was originally dedicated to Saint Leonard. The existing building has been described as one of the most ambitious churches in Monmouthshire. The earliest parts of the building date from the 13th century, at about the same time as it was handed by Gilbert Marshall, Earl of Pembroke, to the Abbey of Anagni in Italy. It was later administered by Tintern Abbey. The church was greatly extended in the 15th century, and was restored and rededicated to St. Mary in the mid-19th century. Remains of the procurator's house, some parts of which may date from the 14th century and others from the 16th century, are still standing just off the village square. The procurator was responsible for collecting the tithes of the village on behalf of the abbey. The church is the burial place of Welsh composer Mansell Thomas 1909–1986. Amenities. Mager has a thriving village centre containing shops, pubs, restaurants, and a post office. As well as the large parish church, the village also has a historic Baptist church. Mager and the neighbouring village of Undye support a thriving athletic club whose clubhouse and pitches are found at the eastern end of the villages. Undye actually consists of all land lying to the north of Mager Rian, taking in Dancing Hill where the Rian intersects Cowley's Mager to the south, and Millfield Park and Mill Rian Undye to the north. Vinegar Hill, often regarded as a boundary point between Mager and Undye, actually lies wholly within Undye. Mager Marsh is a 90 acres 36 ha wetland reserve managed by the Gwent Wildlife Trust. It has a rich variety of habitats, including damp hay meadows, sedge fen, reedyweed, scrub wet woodland, a large pond, and numerous rians. It includes breeding grounds for common snipe, common redshank, reed warbler, grasshopper warbler, and Sette's warbler. It is the richest site in Wales for wetland beetles and soldier flies, and its pattern of drainage ditches and other features have remained unchanged since the 14th century. Nearby the village, at junction 23 of the M4 motorway, is Mager Services motorway service area, which opened in 1996. Development. In 2007 a M4 relief road was proposed for Newport, which was to be built to the west of the village utilizing the existing motorway junction. These plans were dropped in 2009. As of October 2013, a revised draft plan is under consultation. Monmouthshire County Council relocated many of its office-based staff to Innovation House at Mager, on the Wales One Business Park beside the motorway in 2011. This followed the need to vacate its offices at the former Gwent County Hall at Croesau-Siliog, Cwmbran due to concrete cancer in the building. Magor Station. The South Wales Railway between Swansea and Chepstow, later Gloucester, passed through Magor, and a station was opened here in the 1850s, shortly after the line opened. The station provided 3 sidings serving local farmers. By the 1920s, traffic on the line was so heavy that refuge sidings were provided on both lines. In 1941, the main line was doubled to 4 running lines, with the outer 2 lines as slow goods-only lines to serve the increasing wartime coal traffic, without delaying fast trains on the central main lines. The station closed, along with Undye Halt, in November 1964, although the goods yard remained open until 1965 for cement trains connected with the building of the M4 motorway. Notable people: Harry Harris, 1933–2004, professional football player.